So guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Donna K. Delahaye from the blog hughesofdelahaye.com, the place to go to find your next European city break. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. So today we're in Canterbury and I'm going to show you some of the fabulous things to do in Canterbury if you're considering doing a day trip from London to Canterbury. And the first on the list is the Canterbury Cathedral. Yes, a cathedral. Even if you're not a religious person, this cathedral is really awesome, especially if you like architecture. The architecture inside the cathedral is amazing. Canterbury is referred to as the Garden of England, and you only need to visit one of the many beautiful gardens it has to see where it gets its name from. Okay, so the first thing that you need to visit or see when you come to Canterbury is obviously Canterbury Cathedral, and that's where I'm headed now. Basically, you have to book your ticket to the cathedral and they give you a time slot in which to enter. For adults, it's £12.50 at this current time. And then you just show your ticket and you go through. Just bear in mind that the cathedral is under renovation at the moment. So when you go, the door will have lots of, the outer body of the cathedral has a lot of scaffolding, including the inside, some of the bits on the inside. But I still think it's worth a visit. They will basically guide you where you need to go to enter the cathedral. So just bear that in mind. A day trip to Canterbury is not complete without visiting its most iconic symbol, the incredible Canterbury Cathedral, which is one of the oldest and most important cathedrals in the history of Britain. During the Middle Ages, Canterbury Cathedral became one of the most important pilgrimage sites in Europe. The cathedral's origin can be traced back to the year 597 AD, when St. Augustine arrived on the shores of Kent and established a church on the site. One more thing to consider when you're visiting the cathedral, I just did my tour of the cathedral because again, it was the first thing on my list, so I wanted to make sure I got there with adequate time, and I went early in the morning so there were less people doing tours, so you can spend as much time as you want walking around and really looking at the cathedral. One thing you do need to know, when you go down in the crypt, they do not allow photography and videography. You just walk around quietly, read all the signs, but you're not allowed to take any photos. But I still think the crypt is amazing to visit and it's worth the visit. So guys, since my punting tour is in half an hour, I'm basically on the hunt to find the crooked house. And if you've ever googled Canterbury, this is a house that comes up a lot and I really want to see it. It's a very like a whimsical, quirky house. The building is actually crooked, so we're gonna be on the hunt for that. So that's my next stop. Guys, I found the infamous crooked house, and apparently it was the king's I think gallery or museum or something prior, but now it's a bookstore. So I booked my ticket for the punting and I have to be there for like 12:45 to get on the boat, but I'm really excited. It's something that I've always wanted to do and it looks so cool when you see the city via the river's perspective, so I'm really excited. One of the highlights of my visit to Canterbury was taking a punting tour on the river's Tower. The tour takes around 45 minutes and includes a chauffeur dressed in traditional clothing. The main sites you'll see along the tour includes Greyfriars Chapel, East Bridge Hospital, the Old Weaver's House, and Blackfriars. The tour I took departed from Canterbury Punting Company on Water Lane. This is one of the things I highly recommend if you're visiting Canterbury. It was the highlight and it was a very relaxing tour that I cannot recommend enough. So guys, I basically just finished my punting cruise along the river, and that is something that I highly recommend. It was so relaxing, and the guy was just like telling you history, the history of the buildings and different spots along the river. So it's something I definitely would say if you come to Canterbury, you should be on your list. So guys, this is the Westgate Gordon, and I definitely would recommend you coming to visit it. It's absolutely beautiful because it's next to the river, so I think a lot of local people just come here and relax, especially if you've been walking around town and you want to rest your legs. This is the perfect place to rest your legs. You can just chillax, lie down, have a cold drink. It's so beautiful, and it's also a very scenic, picturesque spot. So if you're an Instagram girl, this is the spot for you, darling. The Westgate Gardens is a small, attractive garden that follows the course of the Roman walls of Canterbury. Look at these people. Look at these people behind me. That's their house. So their house is along the river. How cute is that? And they're tending to their garden. Oh, it's so cool. House is a classic half-timbered framed two-door style house perfectly placed on the river Tower. It's said to be one of the most photographed historic buildings in Canterbury. The name comes from the Flemish weavers who left France to escape religious persecution in the 16th and 17th century. Okay, this is not a thing to do, however it's a really cool spot, and if you're looking for that you know, picturesque kind of spot to take your photos in Canterbury, find Butchery Lane, and then you'll get an epic view of the cathedral leading down into the lane just behind me, as you can see right here. And I'll turn it around so you guys can see it properly, but it's really one of those photogenic spots that you need to come if you're coming to Canterbury. Basically is the Westgates of Canterbury, and they date back 14th century. The Westgate Towers dates back to the 14th century and is the largest surviving city gate in all of England. This impressive gatehouse is actually a replacement from the original Roman wall that circled the city around the year 300 AD. The last stop on our tour of top things to do in Canterbury is St. Augustine's Abbey, which is directly behind me. So basically the ruins of a 6th century church, and it also has a museum that tells you all about the Abbey pre-Augustines and then during Augustines and after Augustines. So if you want like a little educational tour, definitely check that out, and you have to go through the museum before you get to the ruins. So I advise you to come, and it's free, so basically why not? You just have to pre-book your tickets. St. Augustine's Abbey is not only dedicated to St. Augustine, but was actually founded by him in 598 AD to house the monks he brought with him to convert the Britons to Christianity. Guys, look, this is St. Augustine's ruin all here, and then you can see just there the Canterbury Cathedral in the back. Is that impressive or what? Definitely, Canterbury should be high on your list of places to visit when you come to the UK. And these are just a few of the things you can do. The city centre is quite small, so you can more than walk around it in a day with plenty of time to spare. So don't worry that you'll be rushing to do all the things all at once. Definitely you can do everything and feel relaxed and be at your own leisure. So yeah, that's something that you should note. Also, it's quite good for family. You can even bring your dog. It's a very dog friendly city. They even allow you to bring your dog on the punting boat, so don't worry about that. I hope that you found these top things to do in Canterbury useful. This is where I will end my vlog, and please comment and subscribe to my channel for more travel tips.